To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So it's raining today. It's been raining all night. It's almost, well, I guess it's about 11 o'clock. So I think it started probably around 11 o'clock. So it's 12 hours it's been raining. So we're getting a nice early fall. I know it's not quite fall yet. Rain shower. This GoPro has really opened up my life when it comes to being able to do things throughout the seasons. Used to not be able to do videos in the rain. I'd have to do them on the porch. Well, the GoPro is waterproof. Now, I don't trust the waterproof because it can still get wet given the right situation. But you can buy this mod. It's called a GoPro mod. It's a case, what it is, a clear case that you can put around it so it doesn't get wet. And then you could go diving 30 feet deep with this mod. Well, the problem with the mod is it blocks the sound. So now it's not recording my voice. So in order to do that, I use my phone. So my phone is doing the recording right now. The camera is recording the video. And so in editing, I match the sound up to my mouth movements. Now I have a video. It's a little extra work, but not too bad. Now on days like this, when it's cloudy and rainy, I always get up early. Well, I get up early anyways, and I start the generator. And the reason I do that is because the solar panels aren't going to give me enough electric to do anything with. So not only am I using it to run my appliances and stuff, I'm doing it to maintenance my batteries. So I use my battery charger, and my battery charger will charge the batteries like the solar panels do. But it gives a nice solid charge. It does this little trickle charge is what it does, whereas solar panels kind of put a lot in there. Now the other thing with that is if you're using electricity while the batteries are being charged, the lead acid batteries, then the batteries never get a good solid maintenance charge. And this is where a lot of people have problems with lead acid batteries, is they don't know how to maintain them. And I've had a lot of success with lead acid batteries. I had one battery last, 4 years in the camper? And so I got 4 lead acid batteries now, and they do just fine. The thing is you got to make sure they get charged every day. That means that you got to get your voltage on your battery up, I think, past 13.7 every day. A lot of people just run off the batteries and don't charge them. Well, that hurts the batteries. The other thing they do with lead acid batteries is sometimes they'll run the batteries down below 12.3 volts, and that hurts the battery. So just charge them every day. Make sure they get a good charge, not a good charge, crummy charge actually, and they'll last you for a long time. And you figure lead acid battery will last 4 years, $80 a battery, whereas a lithium battery costs nearly $1,000, and they only last 10 years. So I thought I'd come down and check out the garden. As you know, I've been, whoa, that's neat. I just stepped in it and it left a big old footprint. So that means that I've really got it tilled very well. I'm really proud of my tiller and how well it's tilled everything over here. Now I've had to repair the carburetor. I replaced the carburetor, as you'll recall, but there's a leak in between the gas tank and the carburetor. So I've bought some sealant. I'm going to use that with the gasket and seal it up just to make it as perfect as possible. But the last time I ran it, it ran really well. I just had to keep the gas tank on the high side of the hill here. You may not notice, but there's a slight incline here. I kept the gas tank on the high side and it did fine. So I don't know why it made such a difference doing it on the high side, but it did. I'm really happy with the way things have worked out in the last year and a half. Boy, it must have rained hard. I didn't recognize how hard it rained, but I've actually got some flowing going on here. It washed away some of my dirt. I live on a hill, so this is a pretty significant incline up here. So that water's rushing down, and then eventually it'll rush down to the creek, which is down here. This is a pretty significant hill. I just didn't think it rained this hard. That's gonna be a great cornfield. I'm really excited about the corn for next year. So I've been reflecting a little bit today. I hurt my back yesterday. Not bad, I just pulled a muscle. I know exactly what I did. It's actually swollen a little, I can feel it. What it was is I was splitting wood for a while, and I didn't want to split it too long because my shoulder, I slipped and fell, and I was wanting to rest my shoulder. I mean, my shoulder's feeling a lot better, but I just wasn't ready to overstrain it. So I split a little bit, Then I got the chainsaw and I cut some of the logs in half. Well, then I noticed one of the hens got into the meat bird cage. And I didn't want her beating up the meat birds. She didn't, which was surprising. She was actually very nice to them. But I went in there to grab her and she tried to fly off. And so I grabbed her, and as I did, I twisted and I hurt my back. And I was thinking, man, I'm not gonna get any work done. But I've been reflecting today the accomplishments I have gotten done and the insecurities of it all. This is a huge thing that I think a lot of my viewers struggle with, is the insecurity, not being able to do it. The tiny house is the biggest thing I think about all the time. I've never built a house. I built this one all by myself. I had some advice, but it was all through research and conversation, and I built the house. Now that is a big insecurity right there. I remember putting the stove in. I was so nervous about putting that smoke pipe in there, that chimney, the flue. Oh, cutting a hole in the roof. I spent, what, 2 weeks putting the roof on, and then I had to cut a hole in it. But it worked, and we used it, and it works well. The stove works well, the house works well. And so we've been in it, what, 6 or 8 months now. It protects us. It houses us. So something that I did not know how to do, I built well enough that it sustained 60-mile-an-hour winds, huge rainstorms, snow. There was a huge snow that we had last February. Of course, there was a lot of viewers out there saying the house wasn't going to sustain any kind of snow, and it did. Trying to overcome all these fears and insecurities is a challenge. I've never been really rich in my life. Money has always been an issue. Not so much nowadays. Least amount of money I've ever made in my life. And I really don't have a money issue anymore. It's just not a thing I worry about. But spending money on mistakes can drive you crazy. Just the other day, I told you I got the truck stuck, and that cost $125. And it just drives you nuts. You're like, man, I could have used that money for this or that. And so if you make a big mistake, you're just always in fear. Now, I don't know if everybody has the same fear as me, where it's, you know, the money loss, but there are a lot of commenters that tell me about the fear. I remember the well was an issue for me. It just kind of nagged at me. We got the place, and then I discovered that the well had a groundwater leak. So groundwater was getting into the well, and it just drove me nuts. So the first thing I did last year was I made a new concrete floor for the well, and that was supposed to resolve my problem, but it didn't. So I did more research, and I found that the well casing probably is cracked. Well, I could see the crack. So I was able to buy a boot that goes down in there and seals up the well casing. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I had to try. It was either that or dig a new well. Well, then I concreted around it. So I made a new floor so you can see the stanchion. And then it rained again, really hard, and it got groundwater in it again. But this time it wasn't as bad. The dirt wasn't as bad. So what I noticed is the bedrock, is the best way to describe it, has fissures in it. So water can come down and get into these fissures. And then it leaks down into it. So what you're actually seeing is not dirt. You're seeing large amounts of calcium, bedrock, falling down into the water. If you let it settle long enough, it will settle down to the bottom. You won't even know it's there. So I built this building around it, and that took care of the fissure leak. Even after hard rains now, I don't have a problem. And so what I do to try to figure all this out is I can tell from right over here, as long as water stays out of this corner, for whatever reason, then I don't have a problem. Huge insecurity that I was going to have to deal with this dirty water issue all the time after a rain. And the thing you have to understand is the folks that are home may not have 1,000 people watching a video of theirs, or 6,000, or, you know, whatever. And a good portion of those people are telling you it's not going to work. So that only adds to my insecurities that you really may not have. So I try to inspire folks to overcome their fears, or even overcome procrastination. Not laziness, but procrastination. And so here recently, I've gotten a swarm of people telling me, you motivated me to go back out and work in my garden. Or you've motivated me to go out and start canning again. or you've motivated me to go out and clean up my yard, or do whatever, or to finish that project that he started 15 years ago. And I find it very exciting that people are using my videos to get rejuvenated to do something that they've always dreamed about doing. I mean, I say it in every video. I hope I can inspire you to live your dreams. It's not necessarily asking you to live off grid. Of course, this is an off grid channel, and I see a lot of benefits in living off grid. I see the benefits of having free electric, not ever worrying about the electric being shut off by the electric company, power outages because of storms. The biggest part of my dream is the freedom of not having to rely on somebody else. But if your dream is just to go out and garden or to can, then that's fine. I'm glad I can motivate you to do that. It's very exciting. So I'm coming down here in the woods. I thought I'd take a look at the creek, see if we got any major flow issues we got going down here. And nope, there's no water. So even though it's been a long, steady rain, it's not been a gully washer. So once again, I'm very confident that my well will do what, well, no pun intended. I fixed it this last spring and it hasn't leaked since I put it in. But these big long rains, I do still worry about it. It's that lack of confidence. But in the end, I have water. I haven't had to flush out the well for months now. So I've accomplished at least 90% of what I wanted to get done with that. The house is standing strong through all these rainstorms, no leaks. It's just very exciting that I was able to overcome all my fears and get it accomplished. So I hope I can inspire you to overcome your fear so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.